Welcome to the latest remote edition of RPPV News, bringing you stories from across the Mornington Peninsula. I'm Catie Sharp, and our top items for this edition are the latest pandemic news on the peninsula. A Frankston man faces multiple manslaughter charges. Yet another reprieve for Mornington Centrelink. An in-depth look at the Bonio water recycling plant upgrade. And Moonlit Sanctuary welcomes two furry new friends. Now for the full stories. The Mayor of the Mornington Peninsula, Sam Hearn, says he and the Council are seeking explanations from the Victorian Government as to why the peninsula has been included in the state of disaster, despite COVID-19 cases flatlining and the Shire of Mitchell, one of the municipalities at the centre of the COVID outbreak, being excluded from the declaration. Speaking on the RPP Breakfast Club, Mayor Hearn said the council has sought but not yet received an explanation from the state government.
We'll keep kind of asking the state government to maybe better help our community by explaining some of the decisions that they're making, and obviously we're always advocating that they really take the time to look at the unique nature and circumstances of the peninsula and make sure their decisions are the very best for our local community, as well as what needs to happen for the broader kind of state of Victoria too.
We go now to Shivani Pillay for a full update on the Stage 4 lockdown.
Thanks, Catie. A state of disaster has been declared in metropolitan Melbourne, which includes the Mornington Peninsula. And the 6-week Stage 4 lockdown is well underway to continue until the 13th of September. Small businesses are perhaps the worst hit, but may be eligible for the $5,000 grant due to forced closure. 250,000 Victorians will be out of work as a result of the further restrictions. Penalties of up to $19,826 for individuals and $99,132 for businesses will apply to employers who issue worker permits to employees who do not meet the requirements of the worker permit scheme or who otherwise break the rules. On-the-spot fines of $1,652 for individuals and up to $9,913 for businesses remain. This includes employers and employees who do not carry their worker permit when travelling to and from work. As at the 7th of August, there were 450 new cases of COVID-19, with 11 more deaths. The total number of deaths in Victoria is 170. 139 of the new cases are health workers. As at the 6th of August, there are 7,449 active cases in Victoria, with 25 active cases on the Mornington Peninsula, 64 active cases in Frankston, and in neighbouring Catie, there are 330 active cases. Mornington has emerged as the Mornington Peninsula's coronavirus hotspot, with 12 confirmed cases, 3 active, as the highest on the peninsula, followed by Mount Martha, 10 cases, 2 active, and Mount Eliza, 9 cases, 2 active, as at Sunday the 2nd of August. Postcodes without any recorded cases cover Balnarring, Balnarring Beach, Merricks North, Merricks Beach, Red Hill South, Merricks, Point Leo, Shoreham and Macrae. The reported cases indicate the area of residence, not where people are infected. New data has revealed the Sandhurst and Skye postcodes have the most cases of coronavirus in Frankston. The 3977 postcode, also shared with Cranbourne in the neighbouring Catie council area, had 54 active cases on July 31st, according to the Department of Health and Human Services data. Across the rest of the region, Frankston, Frankston South, Coringal and Oliver's Hill postcode were the next worst hit, with 15 cases, followed by Frankston North on 12. It comes after workers at the Woolworths Frankston and Coringal hub tested positive. The infected staff members' last shift was on July 30th. At the door to the peninsula in Edithvale, more than 25 people have been infected by coronavirus, as an Edithvale aged care cluster climbed. A total of 19 residents and 8 employees had contracted the deadly disease since a contractor and employee were diagnosed on July 19th. Peninsula Private in Frankston is taking in aged care residents from coronavirus hotspot St Basil's in Fawkner. The move is part of a pandemic agreement between private hospital operator Ramsay Health and the Victorian Government. Ramsay Health confirmed that 25 residents were moved to Peninsula Private Hospital, whilst other residents have been moved to other facilities. The health status of the residents was not clear, and some Mornington Peninsula residents are worried about the potential risk that they pose. The concern expressed on a Facebook post that healthcare workers at Peninsula Private will now start a spread in the community has been met by a call for compassion. A Ramsay Health spokeswoman would not accept that any patients posed a risk to the local community. She said that the residents were being treated as, quote, suspect cases, and we manage them under full safety precautions until their COVID-19 status is confirmed. These groups, she said, are currently being accommodated in separate, dedicated wards away from other patients in our hospitals. It is not clear which homes the residents were evacuated from. As at the 4th of August, 1,186 active cases in Victoria have been linked to aged care. The 5-kilometre radius for shopping has been queried by Councillor David Gill from Red Hill. Nepean State MP Chris Brain responded saying, "This is more about stopping people from driving from Frankston to Flinders to buy artisan bread." Mr. Brain said residents simply needed to apply some common sense to their travel plans. You can visit your nearest supermarket, doctor, baker, or butcher, even if they are over 5 kilometres away, Mr. Brain said. The Department of Health and Human Services website advises people to stay as close to your home as possible, for example, shopping at the nearest supermarket. Mornington Peninsula Mayor Sam Hearn said the 5-kilometre rule was another example of the region being, quote, a misfit for metropolitan Melbourne, and was puzzled by exclusion of Mitchell Shire and our inclusion given our low numbers. The Shire has been arguing with the state government about its inclusion in metropolitan Melbourne since the first lockdown in early July. At that time, there were no active cases in the region, and business owners wanted to know why the peninsula had been included when it was business as usual in places such as Geelong. However, Peter Murphy, member for Dunkley on RPPV Breakfast on the 4th of August, has supported stage 4 restrictions being applicable to her area, which includes Mount Eliza. But she acknowledged that it may not be the case for further down the peninsula in the wine regions, for example, in Red Hill. So, what are the new restrictions? For a full explanation of the new restrictions, watch the special report we released on Monday, available on the RPPV site. The National Retail Association has released a landmark report detailing the health and wellbeing struggles of Australia's second largest workforce as they battle COVID-19. Australia's 1.5 million retail workers have been at the front line of the COVID-19 pandemic, weathering increased risk, stress, and abuse. The report proposed classifying retail workers as frontline essential workers. Feedback from workers revealed they are suffering high levels of stress and anxiety, leading to mental health issues and an increase in poor lifestyle choices, such as smoking. The report also revealed the need to address issues relating to retail workers, such as customer abuse, retail crime, domestic and family violence, and poor lifestyle choices. Retail business owners have also faced a number of challenges, including increased pressure to provide essential goods to the community whilst trying to accelerate supply, hiring extra staff for stock replenishment, protecting their staff, and handling angst and frustration relayed onto workers by the community. Many have increased costs by installing safety measures, such as sneeze screens, hiring crowd controllers, deploying extensive training programs, and changing store layouts. Peter Murphy has also commented on the need to look after our mental well-being as we begin a further 6 weeks in isolation. Speaking on RPP Breakfast, Miss Murphy says these are unprecedented times, and to anyone who is feeling vulnerable or unsettled, she and her office are on hand to help.
It is really hard, and for a lot of people who already suffered from anxiety or depression or other chronic health issues, this will exacerbate it. So the message is clear: ask for help. Go and see your GP, see your specialist if you've got them. It's really important that people don't put off dealing with other health issues just because there's COVID. That's the first thing. And the second thing is, a lot of people who haven't had mental health issues before will be feeling very anxious and quite depressed and not really know where to go to. There's nothing wrong with that. That's how we're all feeling. Beyond Blue is available, Lifeline is available. For young people, there's a wait list, but Headspace is there. If you need someone to talk to, there are facilities available, and again, I can provide people with those phone numbers.
Legal services are available for those facing homelessness under the lockdown. A Peninsula Community Legal Centre specialist team is offering advice to tenants at risk of losing their homes, as well as people already homeless. The team has advised it is illegal for tenants to be evicted due to hardship related to the pandemic. Free legal advice and care packages are available. The centre has branches at Rosebud, Frankston and Cranbourne, and can be contacted on 9783 3600. Keep a face mask handy at all times and carry it with you, as it is compulsory to wear a face mask unless you have a lawful excuse. Fines are applicable and have been issued. Follow the rules, stay safe, look out for your neighbours and those who are particularly vulnerable by asking them how they are and checking in with them. Perhaps we can take a tip from the kids and use this downtime to get up and get creative and learn something new. Guitar, piano, Pilates, or perhaps some painting. Local councils and local businesses are offering free tuition and classes. Just Google and go. And in happy COVID news, with the ban on weddings, apparently there's been an unprecedented escalation in wedding proposals. We expect there will be no complaints from the new nuptials as they bunker down for their 6-week hard lockdown. Marital bliss and romance. We just hope that's contagious. That's the COVID-19 update. I'm Shivani Pillay. Back to you, Catie.
Thank you, Shivani. A 49-year-old Frankston man has been charged in relation to an Eastern Freeway collision on the 22nd of April where 4 police officers were killed. The man was arrested in Lyndhurst last Saturday and has been charged with 4 counts of manslaughter. The arrest follows an extensive 3-month investigation led by Road Policing Operations and Investigation Division with the assistance of specialist investigators from across Victoria Police. Locals have welcomed the news that Mornington's Centrelink office will remain open for a further 6 months. Originally due to close down last March, the office was kept open to assist the number of people who lost their jobs during the first lockdown. The closure was strongly opposed by both councillors and residents, who pointed out that some 800 people visited the Main Street office each week, and that closing it would put undue pressure on surrounding centres in Rosebud, Hastings, and Frankston. The Shire stated it will continue to fight to keep it open permanently. Police are investigating after a serious collision in Shoreham last Monday morning. Emergency services were called to Frankston Flinders Road at about 10 a.m. to report a car and bicycle had collided. The cyclist, a 41-year-old Shoreham woman, died at the scene. The driver of the vehicle, a 61-year-old Mont Albert woman, has been assisting police with their inquiries. Police have asked anyone who witnessed the collision or have any other information that could assist with their inquiries to contact Crime Stoppers on 1800 333 000 or on their website. Frankston Council has been auditing the care it has been providing the community during the pandemic and lockdown. More than 9,000 hot meals were delivered through the Meals on Wheels program between March and June, a 117% increase on the same time last year. And since opening in April, the Council's Community Recovery Call Centre has provided 2,000 people with information and support. Frankston City Council is urging locals to use vital community services, including food packages, one-on-one guidance, financial assistance, and business grants to help them get back on their feet. After the break, RPPV's Deborah Ma reveals what $130 million of taxpayers' money can buy when spent on upgrading a local water recycling plant.
Everyone knows Australia has 4 big banks, but the 5th biggest retail bank is snapping at their heels. It's a bank that's been around for over 160 years, can be found in over 500 locations nationwide, looks after over 1.8 million customers, and is regularly voted one of the most trusted brands out of all the thousands of brands in Australia. Who is this fantastic number 5? Yep, it's Bendigo Bank. The better big bank.
Battery World now open in Mornington.
We know batteries. We know our 75 D23Ls from our DIN 65 LHs. And we know which is best for you. We have the range and a spark no one else can match, because we live and breathe batteries. Those beautiful boxes and cylinders that power our lives and our passions. That's why we're the batteryologists. We're Battery World.
Battery World Shop 1, 43 Mornington Tyre Road, Mornington.
Welcome back. Southeast Water has just completed a $130 million upgrade at the Bonio water recycling plant. The project was necessary to cater for population increase and the thousands of properties that recently changed from a septic tank system to the main sewage system. Deborah Ma talks to Carolyn Madden, Southeast Water Project Manager for the Bonio water recycling plant Stage 4 upgrade, who explains why the work was necessary and the benefits to households and the community.
Thank you for your time today, Carolyn. I've always wanted to know the recycling, details that the water goes through from start to finish. But maybe that you could just talk about initially the septic tanks that had to be changed or, onto mains on the Mornington Peninsula. I know that you have a passion for it.
Yeah, sure. So I suppose historically a lot of properties on the peninsula had septic tanks, and septic tanks are really good under certain conditions when there's a certain land size or they're maintained routinely. But what we find often is that there can be issues with the water that's produced from them, and given the soil type on the peninsula being very sandy, that means that sometimes they can contaminate the groundwater and the soil of the area. So Southeast Water had launched this Peninsula Eco program to help address those environmental issues by sewering a number of properties on the peninsula. to help address that environmental issue, and also gives homeowners a bit more flexibility, that they don't have to worry about their septic tanks, that it all just enters the sewer network and comes to our Bonio treatment plant.
So hopefully there's about 16,000 to date households changed over.
Yes.
What was the rollout of this and how long ago did it start?
It started about 4 or 5 years ago, and it's a progressive program. So if people want to connect early, there's the opportunity to do that. But over the next 10, 15 years, we'll roll out the program to connect a number of properties, 16,000 as you mentioned. As you highlight, a lot of people don't even understand that they have a septic or not, and that's what's led to a lot of the issues, because if they're not maintained or you're not there full time, if it's just your holiday home, it just leads to those issues. So rolling out this program, you might see some of the utes and whatnot around, of plumbers and Southeast Water staff rolling out the program. But yeah, it's been a real benefit, we think, to the environment and also to people with the utilisation of their properties. It gives a bit more opportunity if people want to develop or just realise other opportunities. And we also obviously sewer commercial businesses and other retailers down on the peninsula, so we think it's a real win for the community.
Now, you mentioned before that it was built with the thought of an eco plant. What do you actually mean by that? And is there any gas emissions that come from it? Is there any smells or gases? Just explain a little bit down what's happening in Bonio.
Yeah. So all of the houses that are connected to the sewer network, the pipes ultimately end up at the Bonio treatment plant. And obviously sewerage, people think it's a bit unpleasant, but it does have odour and whatnot. But we treat it in a way to capture any odours and any emissions from the process. As I might get to a bit later, there's a number of ways that we utilise the gas that is generated on site to generate electricity, but we really are strong on trying to recover some of the value that's in sewerage. There's carbon. So we view the Bonio treatment plant as a bit of a resource recovery plant, and obviously it exists to ensure that people's public health and environmental impacts are minimised from sewerage, but also what can we realise from this resource and how can we reduce our carbon emissions and really have a beneficial impact, and also providing recycled water to a number of customers down on the peninsula too, which is a big win for everybody, that the water can be used beneficially.
So it comes in from the mains, then it's recycled into water that we can actually use for irrigation or farming. Is that how it's working?
That's right. So it comes in at a high level. We remove there can be rubbish or materials that we screen out, and then we split the solid element and the liquid element. So the solid element we settle out and then we digest. And that's where we generate gases that we put through an engine, and then the engine will generate electricity that we use on site. The liquid stream goes in a different sort of process, and we just increasingly improve the quality through various disinfection processes, so then it's sort of safe for use. And we then supply that to agricultural customers and golf courses, various people who utilise the water for market gardens in the area. And obviously, as I said, we have various very stringent requirements for the quality of that, given it's the end use.
Yes.
And then there's an element that because there's not enough demand for the water we produce, some of the water then goes out to the southeastern outfall, and that is also appropriately treated for its end point.
Right. What would the approximate litres per day that would be recycled that we can use?
Up to, in summer, so the plant can produce 16 megalitres per day. In winter, we get about 11 megs into the treatment plant, but over summer, we're 16 more with everybody down there for Christmas. When it's hot and dry and people are planting and irrigating, then all of the water that can come into the plant can go to our customers. So it really it's great when that happens, because we know it's all just being reused. But obviously in winter, when there's less of a demand for the water because it's raining and the water's available, then the demand drops off.
Right. Is it stored somewhere, or does it just go back out in
And just generally goes back out to the southeastern outfall.
Okay.
For discharge.
Now, with this upgrade, what was the cost involved in it, and who had to pay for it? Was that state or federal funding?
No, it's about $130 million upgrade, which is a very significant upgrade. But we see that it will take us, through at least to 2035, if not beyond, to sort of 2050. Southeast Water funds it, so we every 5 years we prepare a plan of all of the capital works that we see are required to service our customers, and the Bonio upgrade was included in that plan, and then that goes into the price, our sort of service charges to customers. The Essential Services Commission also reviews that and sort of ensures that it's a fair price, but ultimately Southeast Water has funded the works for the upgrade.
We've had to put new buildings on there as well to cater for the upgrade. Now, down in Bonio, we know that there's a lot of bushland and farmland, and that's part of our food bowl. What did you do to counteract that? Did you plant native trees, or how did you combat that?
Yeah, so before we even started the works, we came up with a sort of planting plan and engaged with some of the neighbours and some of the locals that have knowledge of the types of plants that are native to the area. Our primary objective, I suppose, was to plant around the boundary of the site, so it provides screening, so then it sort of blends more into the environment. There's also the benefit of potentially in future it will provide some sort of wildlife corridors, because we're looking to sort of completely bound the plant with the planting. We're quite close to the Tukrook wetlands as well, so we're obviously very careful to ensure that it all links in with the wetlands. In terms of the plant itself, as you mentioned with the buildings, a lot of thought was put into the placement of the assets on site. So we're using the existing treatment plant for all of the work, so there's no disturbance of any other sort of untouched areas. It's all on an already sort of active treatment plant site, but we consider sort of the location and the colours of the buildings and the structures, just so it all can blend in as well as possible to the sort of surrounding environment.
Well, it's certainly a benefit to the community down there, especially too with the increase in numbers in our warmer months. So just lastly, is there any facts and figures that our viewers may be fascinated with, as I will be?
Yeah, I always find it quite interesting. On Boxing Day, we see that the flows into the plant really increase. It's sort of from night to day, so we can tell that everybody's hopped in their cars and driven down. So from sort of Boxing Day to New Year's Eve, the flows can increase by 50%, if not more, just in those few days. It puts a fair bit of pressure on our plant because it needs to sort of acclimatise to that increase, but we do a lot of work sort of in December. But yeah, just on New Year's Eve, we can see the peak. We see everybody that's obviously down there celebrating, and we see that in the sewage flows that come into the treatment plant.
It's not for everyone, is
puts a bit of pressure on, but that's sort of the point of the upgrade really, is to enable everybody to come down and enjoy the peninsula and provide adequate treatment of the sewage that they invariably generate.
It's not a really big area there, is it? You know, we're talking about a peninsula after all.
That's right. That's right. So we cover from Safety Beach down to Portsea. So yeah.
Huge. Okay, look, we'll leave it there. Thank you so much, Carolyn. Carolyn Madden, Project Manager at Southeast Water. I'm Deborah Marr, reporting. Back to you, Catie.
Frankston Council is inviting its community to have their say on how they should address the impact of climate change. Following the declaration of a climate emergency last November, a new survey is seeking to get a clearer picture of the community's priorities. The survey is on the council website and submissions close on the 26th of August. The Mornington Peninsula Brewery site has been acquired by independent Footscray brewery, Hop Nation. The brewers say the purchase will allow them to expand and increase production of their signature hop beers. The site has been empty since Tribe Brewery ceased production in April. Hop Nation will begin brewing in Mornington immediately, allowing them to meet current demand, especially as certain markets, including export, continue to grow. Frankston Police Station has reopened after its officers were isolated last month following a positive COVID-19 test of one of their team. The reception area is now open for urgent matters. Non-urgent issues can be directed to the police assistance line or on the online reporting website. A reminder that the ATO Super Guarantee Amnesty is finishing soon. The amnesty is a one-off opportunity that allows employers to disclose and pay previously unpaid superannuation dating back to July 1st, 1992. Employers who don't come forward during the amnesty period and are subsequently audited and found to have underpaid employees will face significant financial penalties. The amnesty ends on the 7th of September. And the Moonlit Sanctuary in Pearcedale has two furry new friends. The sanctuary is now home to 7-week-old dingo pups Sooty and Cole. They received their names after a public competition and are now in training to get used to being around people. The founder of the sanctuary, Michael Johnson, says the pups will be key to educating people on the vital role dingoes play in the ecosystem, protecting local species from feral predators like foxes and cats. As soon as regulations ease, you'll be able to meet these two cuties in person. Now we go to Alana with the coming week's weather report.
Hello, I didn't see you there. I was too busy trying to make the word zebra. It's Alana here with your RPPV 7-day weather forecast for the Mornington Peninsula. Today, Friday the 7th of August, it'll definitely be raining. You can expect up to 8mm of rain and we'll reach just a top of 13 degrees today. Tomorrow, Saturday the 8th of August, we'll again have high chances of showers. We'll have a top of 15 degrees and we'll expect up to 6mm of rain. On Sunday, the showers will be easing, so we'll have a slight chance in the morning and we'll reach a top of 15 degrees. On Monday, it's just looking like there'll be partly cloudy conditions about. We'll reach a top of 16 degrees. And then on Tuesday, we'll again have similar conditions, but it's likely that the showers will come back in the afternoon with a 50% chance of rain. On Wednesday, the showers will definitely be back. We have 95% chance of rain on Wednesday, and we'll have a top of 16 degrees. On Thursday, it's looking very similar to Wednesday. We'll have a top of 15 degrees, and rain's very likely. So I'll stay inside and play my Scrabble, and I hope you guys stay home and stay safe.
And now to Muzz, our surfing guru, for the final surf report of Stage 4 lockdown.
Good morning, guys, and welcome to the Mornington Peninsula Surf Report. Now, if you're planning on going surfing and you're unsure of the rules, surfing is banned. So throw that idea completely out the door. And of course, we've now had surf, but we're lucky this next 5-6 days we look like we're going to be onshore. Solid swell, but it's not worth risking the $1,600 fines. Just go and ask a couple of the young guys down at Rye what it's like to have to pay $1,600 when you're down not working. So be very careful, be very mindful of other people. Everyone wants to go surfing. I did see some people the other day that was pretty annoying because I would love to have gone surfing. Think about other people other than yourself. Surfing's a selfish pursuit at the best of times, but if you're going surf when you're not meant to, we're not going to get through this, and it's going to keep going and stretching out, and then we're not going to get in the water. So enjoy your time, make good use of it, read a book, learn something, listen to music, tune into RPP Plus and listen to our radio show. You'll still get a surf Steve, Annie and Muzz, and we'll see you on the other side.
And that's all from our team here at RPPV News, serving the community with stories that matter to you. Remember, if you go outside for one of the 4 essential reasons, wear a mask. If you're feeling at all unwell, get tested and stay at home until your results are back. Keep watching and do tell your friends. Bringing you the news from coast to coast across the Mornington Peninsula, I'm Catie Sharp. See you for the next edition.